There's one X-Men story that doesn't get mentioned enough, and it's Schism. Think of it like Civil War, but for the X-Men. It started with Kid Omega interrupting a peace meeting between Scott and the nations of the world, which ended up being an advantage from the Shadows, where they swayed the governments to use Sentinels that ended up malfunctioning and hurting the people, while Logan took care of the kids. The more high-profile X-Men went out to an opening of the museum, but it ended up getting interrupted by the new Hellfire, who dispersed of the X-Men without little to no trouble at all. The only one who was left was a kid, barely a teen, as she witnessed everything from behind the cabinets, as Logan begs Scott not to let her join combat, because she's still just a kid. Scott doesn't want to hear it, as he gives the order to annihilate the thugs before they do more harm unto others. Edie breathes in, and she musters up the strength and the courage to face them and annihilate them with extreme prejudice, leaving the building to go up in flames as she brings out the rest of the X-Men and the thugs who caused all of the mayhem, but they left an explosive inside of the building. As the chaos clears, Scott asks if there was any casualties, and Logan loses his temper and tells him that child should have never been in that position to begin with, as Scott tells him, no, you're right, you should have never been at that bar to begin with, as Wolverine pops out his claws, not to fight, but to see what the explosion has wrought, as it is a Sentinel that can generate from the metals around its area, and that is too powerful enough to take out Wolverine with one blast, as it heads its way to Utopia. Scott gives it his best optic blast, trying to get rid of it, but it is no use, as he dispersed all of his power, and as the both of them start to fight with each other, as the Sentinel gets closer, the kids butt in, and they take it into their own hands as they try to take down the Sentinel, as Wolverine and Cyclops put away their differences just to take down the Sentinel, but the repercussions have hit a little harder to home, as Edie starts to feel the guilt and shame of her actions of what she did, as she is still a kid, as she is processing the feelings of what it's like to take a life, and that bothers Wolverine deep down to his core, because he knows that he has failed this student, as she thinks that that's what it means to be an X-Men, and deep down Wolverine knows that's not what Charles Xavier wanted, as he tells Cyclops he's leaving the team, as he boards the jet to start his new journey as being a teacher and a mentor towards the new kids, and showing them there's a better way to be an X-Men, giving the kids hope for a better tomorrow as they rebuild for their future. But this was a big turning moment for Cyclops and the X-Men, as it led him down to the road of Avengers versus the X-Men.